Welcome to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. And as parents, we are so busy all the time. We're traveling to and fro. We're taking kids back and forth, soccer, therapy, you name it. We definitely forget to have that me time that we so deserve. A chance to reset, recharge, reconnect with outside life, because there is outside life of children, right? And children with disabilities, then it's amplified to the nth degree. Now, last month, I mentioned a young lady who has a great charitable foundation. And here with me today, Andrea Roberts, founder and executive director of a Mother's Respite Charitable Respite Foundation. Andrea, thank you for being on the show.
I'm so glad we've finally been able to connect. Thank you for having me.
Andrea, tell everybody a little bit about why you started this Respite Foundation to begin with.
Sure. Well, I'm actually the mom of a 20-year-old son with Down syndrome myself. If he only had Down syndrome, that would be great. Unfortunately, he also has sensory processing disorder, ADHD, and he's a runner, for all of you who understand what I mean in this community. So he's quite a handful. And by the time that he hit high school and puberty, I was like ready to jump off a bridge almost. Figuratively speaking, of course, but I think many of you can understand where I'm coming from with that. And I needed some place to escape to. It was a pretty dark time, pretty difficult time. And I wasn't looking for an educational conference. I wasn't necessarily looking for a faith-based event. I just wanted some place to go and escape and not just a hotel. Like I wanted some place that was comfortable and remote and beautiful sanctuary kind of space. And so I thought I had an opportunity to purchase my great aunt's Virginia farmhouse. That didn't pan out, but I realized at the time that I could not be the only one feeling like this and needing something in that format that was completely freestyle, that had nothing planned, no obligations, just to sleep. I mean, truly, that was what I needed. I was just functioning on zero sleep when your brain is on all the time. You're wondering if your kid's getting up in the middle of the night, if they've, unlocked the front door, they've crawled up over the back fence. I mean, I think a lot of you might really relate to that kind of stress. And even if your children have medical conditions, or you're up checking the oxygen levels at night, or I mean, anything that keeps your brain on 24/7 is debilitating, even just that in and of itself. So that's kind of where Mother's Rest was born out of, was my need for this just quiet sanctuary, and realizing that I knew there had to be other women and dads and couples out there who wanted something similar. So that's where Mother's Rest came from.
Does your son at 20 years old still have elopement issues?
Not like he did. So that is a huge relief off of me. He's kind of come through the puberty part of things and is just much more or less, I guess, impulsive. He still has that in him, but his desire to, and he was never wandering. He would just decide, you know what, hey, I'm tired of sitting here and I'm going to walk out the front door. And he wasn't necessarily going any place in particular. He wasn't wandering either. Like I know a lot of children with autism, tend to just walk out the door and then be disoriented and not know where they are, which is just very, very sad. So I know that a lot of your moms probably understand.
It's scary.
But
it's scary for sure.
It's very scary.
I can tell you, between the ages of, I think, 3 and 6, I never left the house in anything but tennis shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, I joke about that all the time. I didn't get to wear flip-flops until he was about 18 years old, because you just can't catch him fast enough, and he gets out the door and you don't know which way he's gone, and you're calling for him, and then you got to call all your neighbors, and you got to put out an APB on your freaking neighborhood Facebook group, and and then the
It's
police
real.
show up at your front door and like, do you know this young man? Well, shit, yes, I know him. And then it's just so much. It's just so. Anyway, you all probably understand where I'm coming from with that, but
some of the cutest outfits get downgraded because you have to wear tennis shoes.
Absolutely. But he seems to have come through that impulsive desire to just get up and walk away and see how far he can get without me finding him. It was very much a game for him. Yeah.
I'm glad that we've moved past that and he's moved past that and you can wear flip-flops again. When we get back with Andrea Roberts, we'll find out a little bit about the states that are being offered up to take advantage of having some long-awaited me time.
Hi, I'm Andrea Gilwaters. If you like my mommy show, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. There is an episode for everyone on Life with the Spectrum.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and with me today is Andrea Roberts, the founder and executive director of A Mother's Rest Charitable Respite Foundation. Andrea, I know that it's not just here in Georgia and Maryland. Where can people find these discounted places to stay?
Sure. So the cool thing about A Mother's Rest is that we are partners with dozens of bed and breakfast inns. So small kind of sanctuary type places. And then we also around the country, all over the country. And then we also own 2 of our own year-round respite inns, which are exclusive to these parents and caregivers. And this is the first of its kind in the nation. There's nobody else who does it in this model, this business or service model. So our particular inns that we own are in central Maryland and in the mountains of North Georgia. But we have partners in 13 other states. Where are you located?
We are in Georgia, and so this makes complete sense. It's
Good,
right up the road.
Good, right. So we have our year-round respite inn up in Habersham County, which is up on the South Carolina, North Carolina border. And it is open year-round, every single weekend, exclusively for these parents and other caregivers. So it's not only moms and dads who have children with disabilities. We also support all adoptive and foster parents. We host couples retreats. We host dads retreats. We support people who have wounded spouses, veterans and or just injured, medical challenges, what have you, and also those people who are caring for their own parents. So we really try to cover the gamut of all caregivers and giving them time to calm and rest and just sleep and do nothing if that's what they want to do. And if they want to socialize and have therapy with their new friends, then they do it. Every room is stocked full of tissues because there's a whole lot of cathartic crying that happens at these retreats, which are so necessary.
And good pillows so they can just sleep, right?
Yeah, and awesome pillows. Yes, absolutely. So gone to great lengths to create comfortable sanctuary for our friends and moms.
We're here with Andrea Roberts, the founder and executive director of A Mother's Rest Charitable Respite Foundation. When we get back, we're going to find out with what goes on at these bed and breakfasts for the weekend or a couple of days away. What can parents expect? Stay with me.
Hi, I'm Lear Gilwaters. Thanks to our friends at...
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. Sitting with me today, Andrea Roberts, founder and executive director of A Mother's Rest Charitable Respite Foundation. Andrea, we were talking a little bit about all of the things that are stocked inside these bed and breakfasts for the parents to enjoy, or the moms or the dads or both. What can they expect? Is it a weekend where they can take advantage of, let's say, horseback riding in this location, or is it up to the parents to kind of find their own activities?
There is horseback riding in this region. So like I said, we're in the mountains of Habersham County. So it's a, different experience than you would have in South Georgia or coastal or down closer to Atlanta. Waterfalls, rivers, river tubing. We're very close to Helen, Georgia, if you're familiar with that. And so that's a very popular destination. And so there's just a million things, shopping and restaurants and all kinds of stuff all over the place. And what we do is we have a private Facebook group just for the registered guests of that location. Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
And so in that Facebook group, you're able to kind of get to know the people who are going to be there with you on your weekend a little bit. But you also get to read about, all the different posts that we put up about events that are happening in the area, restaurants, activities, and other kinds of things. So we, really try to make it comfortable so you're not blindsided by anything or come up there completely clueless about what to expect.
And Andrea, I know that you have one big event that almost instantly sells out, and that is in Jekyll Island. But that is not just for mothers or just for dads. That's for mothers and kids, correct?
Correct. So that is our very special Mommy and Me retreat. We call that. That's done annually down at the Jekyll Island Club Resort. That's 5-star historic hotel down there. I'm sure you're all familiar with Jekyll Island. And that is designed for moms to come with their neurotypical children.
Wonderful.
And to give them a chance to reconnect and spend special time, just without the behavioral or other challenges that you have to go to be out and about with your child with special needs. So that's really special. And that's why it sells out so quickly, is because, it really becomes memories that these moms are making with their young kids, and making sure that they know that they're not forgotten and that mom's making special time and activities for them too.
That's so important that you bring that up, Andrea, because I want to bring on some siblings of kids with disabilities, because they do have it extra hard. One, they're, as much as you don't want to forget them, and you don't as a mom, they often feel forgotten because they're asked to step up in so many different ways that, for us, we just never imagine unless we're actually that sibling of a child with disability. So I'm so glad that you do that. Oh my gosh. Now, wait, has it already sold out for 2023?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to look for 2024. I think there's a wait list, right?
Yeah. There is a wait list. So what I would suggest, though, is that, so what happens with this is, just because of the nature of our lives, right? As with any of our respite retreats, this particular trip also, we have a lot of cancellations, especially closer to the trip. Just stuff comes up, anything in life that comes up, and people just can't make it. So absolutely use that wait list. If you're interested in coming on that particular trip, add yourself to the wait list. And what happens is that when we have a cancellation, I will send one email to everyone on the wait list at the same time, so that it's totally fair. It doesn't go to just in order of who registered first.
Sure.
And then it's the first to re-register for that room if the cost of that room is suitable for you and the layout of that room is suitable for you. And that's kind of how, and that's how it works at all of our B&B partners too.
When we get back with Andrea, we're going to find out, how do they get these awesome bed and breakfasts, and how do they get them at deep discounts? Stay with me. Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today is Andrea Roberts. She is the founder and executive director of a Mother's Rest Charitable Respite Foundation. Now, I know, Andrea, you've partnered with so many states across the country. These bed and breakfasts, they're beautiful, they're quaint. How can you get them at a discounted price? Do you have fundraisers and galas? How do you get donations? How can we make this more fruitful for you and for the families to keep continuing getting that discount?
Yeah. Well, we've been very blessed to have the number of B&B partners that we have. We call them porch partners because there's something very welcoming about a front porch, and most B&Bs tend to be historic homes that have wraparound porches. It's a fabulous thing. But we've just been very blessed to have those folks willing to offer us several weekends a year at the discounted prices. So it hasn't been in those cases for the regular respite retreats. Those have not been a situation where we've had to host fundraisers or find other donors to support that. We do have what I call the Yes Fund, where people can donate into that, and that makes it possible for me to provide a grant if someone is in need of a grant, even for the discounted rate. And I love to be able to tell people yes, and I love the feeling of them saying, "Oh my gosh, are you serious? You really I can go for free?" That's an amazing feeling. Okay.
It makes your heart smile, doesn't it?
It really absolutely does, because I like to be able to say yes all the time. So if folks are interested in contributing to that Yes Fund, they can do that through our website. And that is a wonderful gift, a wonderful anonymous gift. But as far as that goes, we haven't really had to do any fundraising for that. It's really a matter of finding, reaching the B&Bs who are in a financial position to offer us those discounted prices, and also who have a personal connection. They feel compelled to support our organization versus, say, a veterans organization or other types of organizations to host those retreats.
Now, I know on your website too, you also offer a brick fundraiser. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's just something really special for you guys. That is located at our Georgia location because we happen to have a very beautiful, well, it's going to be beautiful anyway, but a very long, wide walkway that walks up to our historic 1879 property there in Georgia. And we are doing this brick fundraiser. They cost about $100 a piece to get one personalized, and you can put whatever you want on it for your family or someone you're in honor of, a memory of, or just an encouraging quote or anything like that. But that's just helping us to beautify the property and to put your little personal stamp on that house.
I love that idea, a brick fundraiser. And where, Andrea, can everyone find out about A Mother's Rest? Where are you online?
Okay, so you can reach us. We have a really great, easy to use website at www.amothersrest.org. We also have a very strong social media presence, so you can find us on Facebook. We have a private support group at Official A Mother's Rest, and we also have a public page, A Mother's Rest, where you can see announcements of new retreats that get posted and articles and things of that nature, and that's where people can share from. We're also on Instagram at A Mother's Rest.
Wow, this sounds wonderful. Andrea, stick around because I want to ask some more questions for the dads here coming up. Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. I've mentioned before, I am so excited to talk to Andrea Roberts because as parents of children with disabilities, we all need a much needed break. And Andrea is the executive and founder, executive director of A Mother's Rest Charitable Respite Foundation. Andrea, I know that as moms, we do so much, but so do our dads. And dads need a chance to get away too. So I thought that we would dive a little bit deeper into the dads retreats and the dads respites that you have to offer. I know they're located in all of the states that you had mentioned, and people can get that on a mothersrest.org website. But tell me a little bit about some of their respites. Do they offer up like golf or, I don't know, beer drinking, pong?
The thing is, so our men's retreats mostly are only held in Maryland and Georgia. And the reason for that is simply because at the other B&B partners, we have so few weekends that we're able to offer. But in Maryland and Georgia, we have every weekend all year long, right? So we're able to schedule 4 to 6 men's retreats at each location each year. But that format is very similar to the ladies. So, they can do their research about golf. They can do their research about breweries and distilleries. They can do, and especially in Georgia, well, I mean, both locations are really fabulous, but in Georgia, there's so much hiking, waterfalls, going up to Helen, fishing. I mean, there's all kinds of things to do. We have an amazing fire pit outside, like it's a chimney with Adirondack chairs. And sometimes the guys will just sit out there with stogies and enjoy each other's company. They don't always tend to be as have as much therapeutic conversation. What I find interesting about those retreats is that they rarely talk about their kids. They look for things between each other that are outside of that to connect with,
to try to make friends.
Yeah, and so they're not there like crying in their soup the way that we do.
Well, you know what though? But it's true. Our husbands, for some reason, you think about it. Our kids are all time consuming, right? Even neurotypical kids are all time consuming. It is very hard for couples to make friends. And we are our best friends, right? So then when they do have a chance to connect with another dude, they're like, I don't want to talk anything about my family. I want to talk about I don't know, the Hawks or, the Falcons, something. They just want a chance to break away from their everyday norm too.
Yeah. I mean, they just, men just in general tend to process stress and grief and cope with those things in different ways, relieve those things in different ways than women do.
Right.
And that's fine. It's totally cool. But that's the beautiful thing also, is that if they're kind of introverted and they just want to stay in their room and read all weekend or
Sleep.
play on Facebook, sleep for 15 hours. Can you imagine? They can do that. Nobody's knocking on their door, asking them, hey, come out and play. Like it's, if they want to come down and hang out, they can. And they utilize the private Facebook group the same way the ladies do. And they decide to go do this, that, or the other and go out to eat, have, whatever it's, or not. It's totally up to them.
Well, I love what you've put together for people. And I think if people didn't know about it, they know about it now. And the fact that they can go and search out what is available to them in their state. Certainly, our show is Atlanta centric. However, I have viewers from all over the country that are looking for places like this and organizations and foundations like this. And so to go to, what is that website? One more time, Andrea.
So the main website is amothersrest.org. But for people who are looking for our full national event calendar, we have one page that lists out all of the retreats by state and date. So it's easy to search that way. We also have them broken out by couples retreats, dads retreats, adoptive retreats. And you can go see that at amothersrest.org/event calendar.
Wonderful. Andrea, thank you so much for being on the show. Is there any last minute takeaways that you want to give to moms, dads, and couples in general?
I just want people to share about it. And the more you get it out there, the more people we can serve. I mean, it's amazing to have as many moms and dads come multiple times a year. There's no limit to the number of times that you can come. It's as often as you can get away. And while I understand that for a lot of families, childcare or just coverage for your loved one is also a challenge, I hope that knowing that we are here and these things are affordable to you, that it motivates you to seek out alternative coverage for your kids if there's any possible way, and know that you have a chance. You have a chance to come and enjoy it. So.
amothersrest.org. Thank you so much for being on the show, Andrea.
You're welcome.
And I hope you have a great holiday coming up.
You too. You too. And by the way, we are open 365 days a year. So we do not miss any holidays. We're open Christmas, New Year's, Easter, all of it.
So if you need to take a break, any time of year is a good time to get in touch with amothersrest.org. Make sure you look for them online. Thanks again for being on the show, Andrea.
Thank you, Gina.
A few things before we go. I was speaking with Andrea kind of offline, and she was mentioning how that Mommy and Me trip at Jekyll Island fills up in literally 6 minutes. 54 rooms get booked in 6 minutes. So that registration opens up April 1st of 2023 for 2024. So you think, oh my gosh, it's a year away. How can I plan that far in advance? You know what? You can always put yourself on a wait list. If something happens, you can cancel and someone else can take your place, but make sure you look for that April 1st of 2023. All of the other trips, and some of them don't have to be diagnosis specific, and some of them can. You can actually plan if you have other moms that you want to surround yourself with. There are diagnosis specific respites. So you can look for those on amothersrest.org. All of those respites open up January 1st, 2023. So make sure you're on that website on January 1st. All right. As we continue to live life with the spectrum, it's so great that we get a chance to talk with some leading experts, foundations, organizations, people being a force for good. And if you know someone that I should be speaking with, send them my name. Tell them to reach out to me. You tell me their name. I'll reach out to them. You can always find me, Gina@gcast.com. That's GKASTS.com. Gina@gcast.com. Email me the information. In fact, like, comment, share, subscribe to the show, and put that comment below. I'll reach out to them and make sure we book a show with them. And again, thank you so much for tuning in as we continue to live life with the spectrum. We'll see you next time. See ya.
It's amazing.